Morning sunlight slips through cracked blinds, lighting up a messy dorm room. Clothes, books, and papers are scattered across the floor. A gaming controller lies abandoned on a cluttered desk. Adam jolts awake, breathing hard. His heart pounds like he's just been running. He rubs his face and looks around, something nagging at him. He gets out of bed, unsteady, and stumbles to the mirror above his dresser. He freezes, staring, as his reflection looks back. But then, it doesn't. For a split second, it lags behind him, tilting its head as if studying him, before snapping back into sync. A cold wave of unease washes over him. I didn't know my name? Not my own name? How does that even happen? Adam is standing in a broken city. The streets beneath his feet are cracked, glowing faintly with lines of pulsing light. The buildings are warped and leaning, almost like they're melting. Above, the sky swirls in strange shades of purple and blue. It's beautiful, but wrong. There's no one else here, just Adam, and the sound of whispers that seem to come from nowhere. He turns a corner and freezes. Ahead, there's a figure. Someone just standing there. It's Cole. Adam doesn't know who he is, but something about him feels familiar, unsettlingly so. Adam steps toward him, but before he can move any closer, the ground shakes violently. The cracks in the street spread fast, glowing brighter. The entire city begins to collapse. Buildings fall in slow motion, crumbling into glowing ash. The whispers rise to deafening screams as the ground disappears beneath Adam's feet. He's falling, and then nothing. The lecture hall is packed. The professor drones on at the front, but Adam isn't listening. He stares at his notebook, his pen idle. Out of the corner of his eye, something moves. A shadow darts between the rows of seats. He looks up sharply, but there's nothing. He glances at his arm. There's a scratch, the same one he got in his dream. Adam's stomach sinks. He rubs at the mark, but it doesn't fade. The professor's voice fades into a low hum, drowned out by the whispers creeping into Adam's mind. The cafeteria is loud, filled with the clatter of trays and the buzz of conversations. Adam sits across from Sophia, barely touching his food. She leans forward, watching him closely. Adam, are you okay? You've been off, she asks, her voice soft but worried. Adam stabs at his food with a fork, avoiding her gaze. I'm fine, he says, forcing a smile. It's a lie, and she knows it. The voices from his dream echo faintly in his head. He tries to shake them off, but they won't stop. The dreams weren't just in my head anymore. They were starting to creep into my life. The library is quiet, too quiet. And Adam sits at a small table surrounded by a stack of books. His fingers tremble as he flips through the pages, searching for answers. Nothing makes sense. The weight of his dreams feels like it's pressing down on him, even now. He pulls his hoodie tighter, as if it'll somehow protect him. Burning the midnight oil? A voice says. Adam looks up sharply. Mr. Brooks, his professor, is standing nearby, smiling faintly. There's a curious look in his eyes. Adam shrugs. Just catching up on some things, he says. It's another lie. Adam wakes up on a bench. The warm light of sunset paints the park in gold. He blinks, confused, and looks around. His phone is dead, and he doesn't remember how he got here. Adam, a voice calls out. He looks up to see Sophia running toward him, her face pale with worry. Where have you been? I've been calling you all day, she says out of breath. Adam hesitates, then finally he tells her everything. The dreams, the scratch, and the figure, Cole. She listens, her expression shifting between disbelief and concern. This sounds crazy, she says, shaking her head. But I'll help you. Adam is back in his dream. He stands in a strange world of floating, shattered mirrors. Pieces of glass drift through the air, each one reflecting a warped version of him. Some mirrors show him smiling, others crying. One shows him glaring back, smirking. Cole is there too, standing calmly among the shards. Their sharp features and steady gaze feel almost mocking. You're part of the drift now, Cole says, their voice quiet but cold. It's feeding on you. Every time you come back, you lose more of yourself. Adam clenches his fist. Why me? Why is this happening? You're not special, Cole says with a faint smirk. You're just breaking faster than the others. Adam looks around at the floating mirrors. Each one shows pieces of his life. Memories, moments. They're all fading. Cole steps closer, their voice low and taunting. You have a choice. Let the drift take you and save it, or destroy it and lose everything inside. Adam hesitates, his breath comes in sharp gasps. He reaches out and touches one of the mirrors. A memory flashes, a moment with Sophia, the two of them laughing at lunch. His hand trembles. Then with a burst of anger, he smashes the mirror. The entire world begins to collapse. The shards dissolve into light. Cole steps back, their figure fading into the darkness. The drift shatters around him. Adam wakes up in his dorm room. He sits up slowly, breathing hard, and looks around. Everything seems normal. For the first time in days, he feels like himself again. He stands before the mirror and for a moment wonders if the figure staring back is truly him. But then, the reflection shifts subtly as though the glass itself breathes, the air around it thickening with an unseen presence. Adam stumbles back, his heart pounding. The mirror ripples like water, showing the glowing wasteland of the drift for just a second before snapping back to normal. Adam glances down at his palm where a faint glowing mark lingers. The drift was gone, or so I thought.